Welcome back. Great to have you with us on The Full View. The ANC in the Western Cape is preparing to appoint provincial leaders this weekend. Around 700 delegates are attending a 3-day provincial conference there at the Cape Town International Convention Centre. And let's look at some of the names that have been touted as possible leaders. Former Hawks leader Anwar Dramat, Cameron Dugmore, a former MEC, and Section 194 Inquiry Chair Richard Yanchi going to reportedly run for the post of chair. Now, you'll remember that he's been asked to recuse himself by the public protector, Busisiwe Mkhwebane. She's accused him of bribery, but he's denied those claims, and the ANC has rushed to his defense. To discuss, we're now joined by political analyst Lukhanyo Vangqa. Thank you for being with us, as always, Lukhanyo. With the names in the leadership hat, let's start there. Will it be possible for the ANC to make a comeback in the Western Cape? Let's remember that they lost the reins of government there the longest time ago.
Yes, good afternoon, Francis. Thank you for inviting me, and good afternoon to everyone that's joined us here. The names that have been touted for the position of provincial chairperson for the ANC, Cameron Dugmore, Richard Yanchi, as you have said. There's a third person, a dark horse that I call him, Lerumo, who was the IPC convener currently. So he's also thrown his name in the hat. From the three people that are there, I think Cameron Dugmore is the one that stands the best chance. He's the leader of the ANC in the provincial legislature, leading that caucus there in the Western Cape legislature. And I think he's a tried and tested ANC man. Like you said, he's a former MEC as well during the previous time when the ANC was in charge of that province. Would any of these leaders be able to resuscitate the political fortunes of the ANC in the Western Cape? I don't think so. I think the general trend in the Western Cape has been more pronounced, but even nationally, the ANC is on an electoral decline in terms of electoral support, and I don't think any of the names that have been bandied about will be able to turn the tide or stem the loss of electoral confidence from the public that the ANC has been experiencing. So no, to answer your question more directly, I don't think any of the three names that have thrown their lot in the ring to contest for these positions will be able to win that province back from the DA.
Let's look at how they got to this point where you say it'll be impossible to come back now. They released discussion documents, and the ANC looks at how it's contested along racial lines in the past, and that has cost them. Even looking at efforts to woo coloured voters back with coloured leaders. How has racial politics affected the fortunes of the ANC in the Western Cape?
I think there's been too much infighting from the ANC itself in terms of the national question, which is the question of race in that province. We saw a lot of infighting in terms of the colored members of the ANC and those that are black African members of the ANC. So you saw how Squatcha was at all times at war with the former chairperson in that province. So those dynamics take more of a colorful picture inside of the ANC rather than outside of the ANC, because outside of the ANC, as they said in their own research, this issue of race politics and race baiting doesn't really find actually resonance with the broader sort of body politic. But inside the ANC, it's a very pronounced issue in their politics. But you can see the slate that Cameron Dugmore has sort of brought together. It doesn't have that tonality of race anymore. Even he himself contesting the person that is on his late to become provincial secretary. They don't really represent sort of what we've gotten used to in the Western Cape, where it's shared between the black and the Africans, that if the chairperson is African, then the secretary happens to be black. So none of those things are at play here. So hopefully the ANC has gotten past this race baiting that they had in their politics in the Western Cape, and hopefully they can go to the more substantive issues that seem to affect the people of the Western Cape, and in that way be able to win votes the way that the PA is doing, the way that Good Party is doing, and other political parties that are eating sort of their lunch.
But if they were hoping to prove you wrong and get back some support, would the support of coloured communities be crucial? And can they do it if they're abandoning sort of looking at the demographic makeup of their leaders so closely?
The coloured vote is very important in the Western Cape because they are a large part of the population. But if you're going to appeal them just on the basis of offering them leaders that look more like them, it's not going to assist with your electoral fortunes. So you need to speak to the substantive issues that affect those broader communities. So issues of gangsterism are really rife and a big problem in the Western Cape. The issue of corrupt policemen and police leadership are a problem that exacerbates this thing. Drug use, that is also related. The issue of lack of economic opportunities for this population. So if you speak more to those issues that are really affecting those broader communities, the coloured voters, and even other communities in the poorer areas, then you'd be able to find resonance with those communities. And that's why I think they voted for the other political parties that they voted for. If you listen to the Patriotic Alliance, they really speak to the issues of gangsterism that afflict these communities. And it's unfortunate that they also do, or they used to do a lot of race baiting themselves, calling themselves a coloured party. Yeah. I see that Gayton McKenzie has moved away from those politics as well. So if you speak to the more substantive issues, I think you can be able to win greater support from that coloured population, rather than offering them a leadership that looks more like them.
Thanks for that. I mean, if you look at the documents, they talk about transformation, renewal in the spotlight, and they want to confront the issue of money politics. But this is huge, really. There is a growing perception of corruption in the ANC because of what has come out. So it'll be a hard ask, surely, for the Western Cape, really, to change those perceptions all on its own. That must be an ANC project as well.
Yes, I think so. But I think the Western Cape ANC, because of the fact that it is not in power and therefore doesn't have the sense of incumbents, it could be a good launching pad for the ANC to speak more about rejecting politics of vote buying, because there's no one that really would go invest their money in the Western Cape to go buy that conference because of how inconsequential all of that would be, because no tenders would accrue to them. These people are not in power in the provincial government, and therefore you can see that there really isn't that much vote buying or even those allegations within that that conference. So this could really be a testing ground to see if the ANC could really be able to rid itself of money politics within its leadership contestations. And I think the Western Cape could give that opportunity now. I don't know if the ANC at a broader level can be able to rid itself of this money politics, considering the fact that they have done nothing about what happened in 2017 when vote buying was said to be so rife, that they've done nothing about their NEC member who was called out by other ANC leaders such as Gwede and Hanekom, the special advisor to the president, who they named very directly to say he was buying votes in the previous conference to become Treasury General of the ANC. Nothing has been done about those allegations, and therefore I think this culture would then permeate inside of the ANC if they don't really tackle it head on. Probably Frank Chikane, the new chairperson of that committee, the Integrity Commission of the ANC, would be able to look at this issue more closely and hopefully deal with the demon of vote buying within the ANC and its elected leadership conferences.
All right, we really appreciate your insights. Thank you so much, Lukhanyo Vangqa, political analyst. And we were hoping to speak to the ANC in the Western Cape itself. We will keep trying. Last we heard a few hours ago, that conference was not yet underway because of delays around registration issues. So we will keep trying to speak to the ANC.